All right, y'all. Okay, we are just a little late, but thank you so much for your patience and chiming in. I have definitely gotten your emails. Where you at? Thank you. I'm right here. Let me start this cam just so y'all can see. Your girl is on the move today, but still absolutely wanted to make sure I'm in effect. Hello, Koja Malik. We are going to be joined again by the author of the moment, Tommy T. In just one moment, he was taking a couple of minutes getting some things together, but y'all know, listen, where the movement is, that's where we are. So, sometimes the movement might be delayed, but it is never denied. Absolutely. So we are going to be, yeah, this is one of my favorite songs. I don't think they make bad songs. Someone confirm with me though. Is this Maroon 5? I don't know. But hello. How is everybody doing today? Koji Malik, how are you feeling? How is Florida holding up? I'm actually coming to Florida this weekend. I'm going to my mother's burial site and my grandmother's burial site, and I got to talk with my people. Hey, sis, Siobhan, absolutely, welcome. Yes, yes. Tommy T is speaking today. We had him on the What's Going On 2 weeks ago, and by popular demand, y'all say y'all wanted to see more from him, hear more from him. So he is coming to the building today. He was running a little behind schedule, but he is going to be here. He gonna give y'all what he got. Okay, and if you all have not cop that copy of the United Nigga Nation, please make sure you do. It is a dub. It's $20. And here he is. Let me. I'm about to put him in, but let me get his information up on the screen so y'all can see it. For his doo-doo-doo-doo, for his so you can support getting his book. Y'all, excuse me for a second, because I know I had it in here and now I'm just looking for it. I might have to make another one. I might have to do another. Oh, there he goes. Okay. So yes, this is his y'all know me, I don't do one over here. So we Cash App Direct. So that is his Cash App. So make sure you absolutely order a book from him, and we are bringing him up to the stage right now. Y'all say this is someone speaking. Y'all know who's speaking. Y'all know we getting the president himself up in here. All right, and here we go. I'm not gonna delay or deny him any longer. I'm gonna stop my cam. I'm bringing him up.
Hey everybody, this is Tommy T.
Siobhan said, "I'm always working. I must not sleep." Ha ha. I do. I promise you. You know what? I sleep late. I go to sleep at probably about 4 o'clock in the morning, and get up about. I get up about six. About no, about 7:30. I used to go to sleep at about 3 and get up about 7, but now I go to sleep later and get up a little later, about an hour a little later. Hey, Tommy, how are you, brother? Welcome to the Glow Show once again, and to our color conversation today. Absolutely. So, so just to give you a little background spin, right? Our colored conversations, because the name of my cafe is Colored Only Cafe, and it usually has some conversation about your favorite foods. But we mentioned your favorite foods, I think, last time with what's going on. But it's supposed to be kind of a chat and chew style. But I'm not chewing. I'm not chewing, though I am in a chew establishment. I'm not chewing, but we are going to chew on some great conversation today. So, how are you doing, and where are you? Are you in Florida at the moment? Are you on the move or on the go out of state?
Yeah, I'm in Florida, actually in St. Petersburg, Florida right now. Um, Ready to see what they have. Some more people are ready to accept the book. Um, but yes, today I'm in Florida, and I love the name of the cafe, Colors Only Cafe. It's something that we all should want to go to because for so long we've been trying to go to white only establishments,
Well, thank you so much.
It exists without the wordage anymore. So it's like, when do we decide to only go to establishments that we are in control of?
Mm-mm.
So that's one of the things.
Yeah, thank you.
That's one of the things I bring up.
Because I thought about it, right?
That's one of the things I bring up in the book.
I'm like, I don't want any place ever that we can't. I mean, there should be no place in there should be no place ever that being colored is a bad thing. And so I said, being colored is the best thing. So we got colorful foods, we got colorful conversations, we have a very colored culture. Absolutely, that's the best thing. So we want to celebrate the colored culture here. And of course, I even the way colored only cafe came into existence was because I was summoned, asked to edibly curate Brother Palmetto Starr's book release for Three Steps to End Racism right now. And that was where Colored Only Cafe made its debut. And it was such a great reception. I was like, you know what? We got something here. Let's keep it glowing. I reached out to the EJI. I reached out to, some pretty well-known organizations for, some support with getting a good amount of inventory to start. And, I was successful with a couple of places, big names as well as local here to Atlanta. And then on March 7th, we made our official, debut. And then we did, play Malcolm X Day. So it's been going well. And people, interestingly enough, though, Tommy, the people that have asked the most questions about it being called Colored Only Cafe have been, guess who? Clue.
You already know.
It's us.
You already know
It's
because our
us.
acceptance, because of the fact that a united nigga nation doesn't exist in the majority of the minority. Once a once a united nigga nation mentality exists within the majority of the minority, things will begin to change, and you will start to understand where colors only cafe is needed, and they actually need to be franchised. You know what I mean? Because it's not. It's cool just to have one, but what if they're all over the country? We're able to go all over the country and go to Cracker Barrels and whatnot. But Cracker, the whole thing where the whip cracks a nigga on his back, hanging out the barrel of Cracker Barrel. So niggas love to go there and eat the pancakes. I was one to do so myself. Thank God for being plant based and dairy free, to where nothing there intrigues me anymore. So that's another thing that I feel Colors Only Cafe could be stronger in, is being a plant based or vegan, whatever you want to call it, type of establishment, because it's playing to be a plant based market. You're definitely on the wave to try to establish something that could go um, franchisable to where they be all over the country, because Colors Only needs to be something we feel like we can go to in our own cafe.
You know, I'm telling you honestly, Tommy, that's why I really rock with you. I told you that that's really why I rock with you, because you got it. From the very first time we ever talked, you got it. As you just stated, when I tell people Colored Only Cafe, their first question is, well, can white people come? I say, you think the makers of Cracker Barrel ever asked, do you think black people will feel like they're welcome here? They knew that they would come. It goes back to the rules, the four rules of the movement. And you all, if you have not subscribed to Brother the Trap Pastors show, please do. It is the Trap Pastor. That is, if you put that into YouTube, you can definitely find it and click on the link there. But his four rules are: white people love white people, white people hate black people, Black people love white people, and black people hate black people. These are the four brutal, honest truths. You know, we can pretend all day long, but that's really what it comes down to. The first question that black people give me is, can white people come here? White people, I've only had literally one white person that has said that to me. Has said, you know, is that racist for? And I'm like, no. Is it racist for Cracker Barrel? You know, is it discriminatory for there to be a place called Hooters? And does that mean that only people with Hooters can be there or work there or what have you? No. Why does that have to be the question? So it's a very interesting. um oh, Tommy, join us back when you can. He dropped off for a second, you all. He'll be back though. He's traveling. But it's a very interesting conversation, and I welcome it because I'm a person of just extreme diverse background, right? I like I said, I grew up loving country music, and don't get me going on some Tim McGraw and some Garth Brooks and some Faith Hill, some Shania Twain, some Ditsy Chicks. Let's talk about it, but let's also talk about the fact that I am very well read and well versed. I was brought up by two social workers and a history teacher, so so of course it's a diverse background, but it's an appreciation for many different cultures, and all of them color. And as Brother Palmetto Star would tell you or have you know, white is an assignment. It's not a race. It's not even a color. It's an assignment. And so um, when we delve into this reality, and this is a great segue, so when Tommy does come back up, we can jump right into the conversation of more on his book, y'all. I wanted to know, Cooking with Sir Senior. I asked you yesterday, and I didn't see if you responded yet or had a chance to. But have you received your copy of the United Nigga Nation yet? Because I would love, love, love for us to be able to have a conversation about the book as soon as you're finished with it. Fancy by Reba McIntyre. Here's your one chance, Fancy. Don't let me down, okay? Fancy had on that red dress. And I want to let you guys know, Fancy is about child prostitution. And so we really need to. These are conversations that we really need to have in regards to our entertainers, in regards to our entertainment, because this song would be this wasn't like a Jolene. Jolene is a song. Please don't take my man, Jolene. I love Dolly Parton, and when Miley Cyrus came back and did kind of like that rendition together, blows me away. But Fancy always gave me the heebie-jeebies, even as a child, because this is the mother was propping her daughter up. Exactly. But the mother was propping her daughter up to save the family from being impoverished. Was getting her daughter in the prettiest dress and the best perfume to sell her daughter's cooch. And it's like, as having a daughter, even before I had a daughter, I realized my mom was never trying to do that to me. And my mom had, four daughters, one son, four daughters. Propping us up for some male attention was never, never, never on her agenda. And I thank God for that. I really do. And I'll be visiting you, Mama, this weekend. Don't make me tear up, y'all. I'll be visiting Mama's burial site this weekend, and we're going to have a little conversation. Absolutely. Yes, this is unspoken truth. And let me tell you why that's so important that you just said that, Kojo Malik. As we transition, as this eviction moratorium gets lifted, you will see that in epic proportions. That's why I'm telling y'all, I am so big on this thing right now, but fuck this rent and getting people actively, aggressively upset with what's been going on, because that's exactly what that type of system welcomes. This is like slavery. It's what you could do. You don't have to do those crops, today. You really sick, you ain't got to do those crops. Listen, you could buy your way to freedom through how many children you had, right? And it didn't matter who you had them from, as long as you kept making more product, making more labor force. Okay, women have been at the center of the exploitation of this system, this housing system, for years, because as any mother knows, there is nothing more um, your family than getting them proper shelter. So I have seen, as a personal caseworker, I have seen women that have sold off their own bodies or their children's bodies in order to compensate for a late rent payment, in order to get a utility bill paid. And I thank God once again that never had to resort to anything like that. Would never, you know. And I said, because if God is with me, who could be against me? And we'll figure out something. But I'd be damned. I'd be damned. But anyway, Tommy is back now. I'm going back on cam off, y'all. But this conversation is brewing. If you are in the Atlanta area, you need to be at the Renters Right Rally next Saturday, located here in the beloved community at the beloved community church in the historic Pittsburgh area in Atlanta, Georgia. Y'all, it's going to be historic. It's going to be epic. Because and if you rent, which let's talk about it, 70% of us do, you need to be there. You need to know what's going to be in the pipeline once that eviction moratorium is up. Because little do you know that once that eviction moratorium lifts, that's when your power begins. Don't think that you've been empowered because they've allowed you to stay in this spot, and your rent has been covered, or a portion of your rent has been covered for these many months, almost 2 years. And people are making jokes. I'm seeing a lot of content creators making jokes about, oh, y'all better pay them landlords their money, get out. Oh, I pay my rent every month on time. Chances are you don't. Let's have these real conversations. Chances are you don't. That's why the cycle of eviction is so consistent for us. You may pay a portion of your rent every month, but like I said, that's another conversation. We will be having the reality of where rent goes. Your rent goes to fund somebody else's eviction. Let's talk about it. The majority of a person's wealth is paid in the leveraging of leveraging of the property by the deposit that you pay. That every month that you're paying, that is doing nothing. That's play money for them. And people say, well, what about the y'all better check my I'm gonna post it on my community tab. I had an explosive conversation. I do mean an explosive conversation with Art Banaka the other day regarding what is the problem between tenants and landlords. Whenever you have 70% of a population of a one demographic paying to 70% of another demographic that don't have the same culture or to back them, you are at an explosion of issues psychologically, financially, of course, but disparity, absolutely, and a breeding ground for inequality. Whenever you have one demographic the majority relying on another demographic for shelter, for that's a crucial system of breeding all types of inequality and all types of infractions that we haven't begun to really appreciate knowledge. So like I said, until we get reparations, be there at that rally Saturday if you're in the Atlanta area. It will be at 1 o'clock. We will be at the beloved community church located in the historic Pittsburgh area of Atlanta. Please make sure you're there. We're bringing Brother Thomas back up to the stage so I can go on this cam off and we can really get to crack-a-lacking. Today we're talking about the United Nigga Nation, what that means, what that means for us in this day and time, because this is a black print. Just like I said with the 3 steps to end racism right now, these are the black law. So let's have a real conversation if you want some real progress. Time for us to set priorities straight and really willing to do the work that is going to take from it. It may not be comfortable, but it absolutely will be accomplished. All right, you're back. Welcome back. Welcome, Black. How are you again? we better now. We good.
Yeah, I stay in motion, so you have to forgive me. Sometimes I go through that, but I'm definitely always talking about shit. But at the end of the day, this is more prolific than one ever imagined. And thanks for the segue. And to get right into it, I would like to add in what I wrote about called the Moses Bill. If anybody is familiar with biblical terminology, you know that Moses uh, demanded that he let his people go. He didn't request it. He didn't ask about it. He didn't march about it. He demanded, let my people go. And if we don't have understanding that we live in this capitalist society to where power is ruled by the pen and not the sword anymore in this new world, we have the penmanship, something that gives us our power. So within that being said, that's why I come up with the Moses Bill in order to penmanship ourselves into real freedom. And within the Moses Bill, of course, reparations is included because it has to be a form of a system, a structure, practices, and institutions. Because we understand how racism only lives through practices, systems, and institutions that keep us gridlocked and, hoodwinked, bamboozled, any word you can think of that fits the criteria of being hanged by a noose with your feet barely touching the ground to give you a little bit of blood. That's what's happened to us, to where we only identify ourselves as a culture. If we was to see ourselves as the nation that we are, that would be able to put our feet on the ground and we untie the noose and learn how to maneuver in our own territory on how to make this really ours come into fruition. Because we know it at heart, but we just can't see it. It was put on my heart to say, hey, we a nation. We focus on the culture so much. A culture is always able to be treated like Play-Doh. You can change it to this, you can change it to that. But if you don't identify that Play-Doh as what it is, you know what I'm saying? You ain't doing nothing but playing with it. That's why within the book, I call ourselves the token of America. Niggas love to be that token. That token is something that's used to be played with. They put that in a machine and play with it. And you make the biggest reward off something that you played. But I feel like we ain't nothing to be played with. We a whole nation. Do you understand the power that comes with a nation, let alone that was derived from slavery? That embarks reparations. As long as we talk about it as a check for
Okay, the sound dropped off a bit, but I do have, let me span this out. I do have Tommy's information there. If you would like to cop a copy of the United Nigga Nation, it is the link, or not the link, the information is right there available. Let me welcome him in on another device. Let me see if this works. And again, it is only above. So when you send a 20, send a little above. Send T, what is it? 2055. Send 25. So at 22 dollars, I'll make sure y'all put that period in the middle. So that's how they trying to trick us into sending Brother Tommy 2,000. But y'all know they said Biden gonna be watching those transactions. Anything over $600, they're starting to watch. This is a direct attack on small businesses. It really is. It's ridiculous. Like I run through $600 easy on a day of the cafe. Easy, easy. So we gotta start calling what they are. But I will get him $20 exactly. I think $20.05 exactly for the copy. Let me move back to stream.
I'm so sorry. My signal is terrible, but
Welcome back, brother.
yeah, my signal's terrible, but I'm stationalized now. I'm stabilized.
Got it.
So I don't know where I cut out
But
at.
you were really saying something
I
in
get on a
regards to
tangent,
your
so
messaging.
that's what
So
I'm
I'm
saying.
gonna
So
let
when I
you
get on a
get back
tangent, I
to
get
it.
cut out. So I don't know where I cut out at. But just to reedify what I was talking about, Black America is a nation, and once one is able to overstand that, our walking papers are in our hands. We have the penmanship to be able to do and say what we want, being the descendants of American slaves. Black America is a veil of the truth of what really lies here in America. So, in order for this to be able to continue as the great country they suppose it to be, it can't happen without the rectifying of slavery. So it's where the slaves come in. I mean, it's simple the way I see it. And with the United Nigger Nation, I'm not talking about niggas as in whatever you may want to think it is. I'm talking about niggas as descendants of American slaves. Now, when you take it to that extreme and you take it to that reality, how does that sound to you? A United Nigger Nation is something that's needed. And within a United Nigger Nation, I believe that would be the death of racism. Because racism only lives through practices, systems, and institutions. And once we build practices, institutions, and systems to rectify what slavery embarked upon, which created America as we know it, then we can be on uh, the roadway to the promised land, as one would call it, Canaan and all that good stuff. Because we are the lost people, no matter how you want to look at it. So I can go on and on and on, but I sum it up in United Nigger Nation, The Death of Racism, that's available on Amazon, or you can get it straight from me. Um, it's just something that I started to believe in, and now that I know it, it's only the next thing is in order for me to show it, and that's what I'm doing right here to y'all. And I digress. I know silence can be loud. I can keep going if needed.
I hope that this is better for everybody. I know that we're having a little hard time hearing Tommy, but I hope that this is actually better for everybody actually now. Because there is so much great information there. We always have such live conversations, literally and figuratively, Tommy. And I want people to really understand and get the essence of why identifying ourselves. Because we always have these different conversations, these different circles, right? About, well, where are we black? Are we indigenous? Are we this? Are we that? Are we that? But I love the way you take this approach where you're saying, regardless of what we call ourselves, we're a nation of them. We're a nation of us, right? We're identify ourselves as a nation and not necessarily as okay, whether we're indigenous or what have you. We are a nation of cultured, melanated people. This is the United Nigga Nation here. I would love to get an update on your progress. You said that there's some things that you're working on getting it placed in your local stores, your local convenience stores. Any progress in regards to that in that mission?
My next shipment is soon to arrive. Sometimes deliveries get caught up with whatever's going on in the society. So my next shipment will be arriving soon. So I will have plenty on deck because I try to sell books like weight, if that makes any sense. So where like I get the books in. So now the next step is to be able to wholesale them. My vision is to have them in local convenience stores, or what they say hood stores, where one is able to go get his juices, waters, blunts, blacks, chips. You know what I'm saying? Whatever one indulges in on a regular basis. Why not we see a United Nigga Nation available there for us. Now, if you indulge in getting a book, that's on you. But at least having the availability to say, hey, plant that seed in one's mind of a United Nigga Nation. I question everybody to say, what does that resonate in your mind on the initial hearing of it, a United Nigga Nation? Because we see everything on an everyday basis. So I feel like somewhere that so-called niggas go is somewhere of a convenience store every day. So instead of trying to start them off as having books available in your Barnes and Nobles and your notable bookstores, why not have them available where niggas go instead of places only bona fide niggas will go, so to speak. So I am still working on getting them in local bookstores, but I mean local convenience stores. But at the end of the day, it's hard to find local convenience stores that's owned by us and for us. Usually, your local convenience store is owned by another minority that differentiates from the minority that lives in that community. There's plenty of books written about it. There's plenty of analogies that can go on with it. But the fact is what the fact is. So that's another thing that I bring up in United Nigga Nation is on how we can rectify these issues. Now, these issues stand. Now, I'm not trying to knock them down. I'm just trying to rectify them. So within rectifying them, we say, hey, you're in a certain district that the demographic is descendants of American slaves. So you should be paying taxes to the descendants of American slaves instead of this oppressor of America. That should be understandable and no problem. So one can just fill out some paperwork. And now resources are coming into our environment that wasn't coming before. Once we identify ourselves as descendants of American slaves, we will have our own districts and zones. They won't be considered hoods and traps. They will be considered vertical integration neighborhoods where the wealth is overflowing and the crime is going down because everybody's, eating off the milk and the honey, so to speak. So this is only rectifying issues I'm talking about within United Nigga Nation on how we will start from what we already have. Once we look at the communities we already in as our own, and these people that's doing business within our community deserve to pay tax to us because this is our community, whether it's brought to us by ownership or by same marriage law type of concept. We've been here for so long. It's already been red lined and all that good stuff. It's time to call it descendants of American slave territory, just like they did for our good Indian brothers and everybody else who's come to agreement with America. It's time for us to come to agreement with America and declare our own nationality as being descendants of American slaves. How disheartening it may be to some, once you be able to swallow the lemon and be able to digest the lemonade, you will understand that we're the greatest things America ever made.
Agreed with you there 100%. Like I always say, name something of your life that is associated with color that ain't beautiful. You know what I mean? Like agreed, agreed, agreed. And even the days that they say, or not the days or the things that they try to assign. Like, I'm sorry, but when this growing up, the whole time they're saying black cats are bad luck, and then you see Black Panther, and everybody's excited. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's appreciate the word spell, the word play on things like this, right? Um, but the way that we describe things, golden sunsets, a red moon,
Oh, get me started on that.
like I said, even with my own cuisine, I always say, we have the greenest of the greens, the brightest of the brights. We have the brightest yellows, the greenest greens. It's
What one
color
fails to
therapy. That
realize,
is such a thing. That's a real thing.
what one fails to realize in the
You
old
said
world,
what?
in
Yeah.
in the old world, things been what they are. In the new world, things are flipped upon us. So we living in a new world. So like in the old world, you eat your green for your protein, you eat your black for your strength. You saying some of the most simplest stuff that is known. But now in this new world we live in, you can be the black sheep of your family and get blackballed. You know what I'm saying? You can get blackmailed and castrated out of society. You can be the black cat and get bad luck. You can get the, you know what I'm saying? It's just so many black connotations. But when you tell a white lie, it's all good. Come on now. You know what I'm saying? We know what we living in, so it's time to put the solution fluid in it. As long as we keep drinking it, we poisoning ourselves. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm sorry. Hello? Can you hear me?
Oh
Hello?
yeah, I can hear you. Thank you.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said you're absolutely right when it comes to that white lie. I say when they say that white lie, they dismiss it, but but when you hear white collar crimes, those are the crimes that are the most that they've extracted the most money. Those are financially devastating crimes, right? So listen, they have terms as blue collar workers but white collar crimes. That should let you know right there. I'm gonna let that sit right there. They don't
It
have
goes
no
even
blue
deeper.
color crimes on the docket.
It goes even deeper.
Go deep, brother. Go
Once
deep.
I
This is a color conversation, so let's go deep.
once you get your copy, I think you're gonna be blown away with the United Nigga Nation because I touch on a lot of these topics that we're talking about. So what do black people have? A black market. And what's a black market? Illegal. No matter what it is.
Illegal. Come on, brother. Come
No matter
on.
what it is. I don't give a fuck if you got some some other Teresa teardrops. It's illegal if it's on the black market. You know what I mean? So uh, that's proof in the pudding of this whole analogy of a nation within a nation, because you have America, which was as it was said in the Malcolm X movie and on the Machiavelli album, America is a country for white people and by white people. All other nationalities will be the burden bearer of the true citizens of this nation. Now, if that ain't the truth, if that hasn't come to bear within obvious ethnicity, I don't know if I need to blink 1,000 more gazillion times to see anything different. But the way I see it, that's true as can be. Let alone when you got a black that's always the contrary of what's supposed to be white. You know what I'm saying? When you got the good and the bad, the whole evil and the, you know what I'm saying, the good to where we get split on Republicans and Democrats, Bloods and Crips, red or blue. It's a constant divide between the good, the evil, the black, the white, the this, the that. There's no in between. So America is a very competitive country. That's what gets me more to dig into the fact that it ain't no country. It's just a big ass business, and you want to be in a majority stakeholdership of such a business because you you see what it's about. Ain't no need for me to keep wasting my voice on what it is. So long as we a minority in this majority rule federation, corporate, whatever you want to call it, we bound to be subjects to slavery because that's what we is. Ain't no sugarcoating it. But once we take the sugar off of it and give it to them raw, that's why I talk about the lemons to lemonade. Not too many people like this to eat a raw lemon, but if you give it to them as lemonade, they might be okay. So taking nigger from nigga to saying nigga ain't nothing but descendant of American slave. That's my lemonade for you. And when you want to deal with a descendant of American slave, then we can talk about reparations. Then we can talk about oppression. Then we can talk about segregation. Then we can talk about uh, financial disparities and I mean every topic you want to talk about. If you call an African American, a black, a nigga, or whatever, a descendant of American slave, it all makes more sense. And all I'm trying to do is make this shit make sense because for so long they made me think it was hard to figure out. And I think that's one of the keys of the devil is making sure you can't find a lock to get to the truth. And I think I done found this, so I put it in a book. If you want to have something from a nigga, put in a book. So I ain't trying to hide it from you. I'm bringing it right to your front door. You can get on Amazon, type in United Nigga Nation, and bam! Some of the realest shit you ever seen up here. I digress.
Well, you're right on point as usual, brother Tommy. You're right on point. You all, let's don't sit up here and let this opportunity pass you by. Absolutely. Let's go ahead and let's contribute. As Pastor, the trap pastor said, he gonna use a preacher trick, and let's spend like you wealthy today. Okay, let's spend like you're wealthy. Let's go ahead and hit up this Cash App, and let me tell you. I gave over, my own contributions for my own copy. I went ahead and poured into Brother Sir Senior getting his copy. So, if we just piece together our $5 here and our $5 there, we could definitely make sure I got that copy. I'll do another review, and then I'm able to give away another copy. Let's continue to move this forward. This is village mentality. Let me tell you, before they had something called group economics, it was village investment, right? And that's what we did with villaging. That was literally what built kingdoms. Because Mansa Musa wasn't traveling with all this gold, y'all. Okay, but what he had was his word, was he had was his trust, and what he was able to do was go to these different countries and say, "Hey, this is what I have to offer here. This is what this is how I'm able to travel because I have this, but I'm able to offer this here. Why don't you, these teachers from this society, you have a village full of children, and then we'll take your goods and take them to this other society that needs them." So this, Mansa Musa was the first diplomat when it came to village building, right? He went around to these other countries and he used his wealth not just to show off his ostentatious living or his opulent living, but he went around to build up these kingdom building through village investment. So it's in that same vein that we can rise again, because again, kingdoms were built with this.
So yeah,
Before there was monetary exchange, we reduced everything to being a monetary exchange, but it's built with trust, and it's built with investing in another one's come up, another one's progress. Hey, Mark Nash, welcome to the stream, brother. So continue to do that and to engage with one another and push each other in that regard, because only that way a rising tide lifts all boats, right? So
so
we have
yeah.
about 10 more minutes left in the show. We have more 10 more minutes of this color conversation. I want to address anything that I may have missed from the comment section. Let me just scroll up to see if I missed anyone coming in. Wisdom, thank you so much for always showing support. Thank you
Vertical
so much.
integration is what
I
they
want to
call it
address
now.
you.
Vertical
What did they
integration.
call it, brother? Say it back.
Vertical integration is what they call building
Vertical
up your community.
integration. I'm going to put that in the chat.
Vertical integration is what they call building up your community now.
Vertical integration. I'm gonna put that in the
And that's
site.
what all
And speaking of conversation, right? When it comes to integration or segregation, what are your thoughts?
being in 2021, that's a hell of a question. But that's why I say districts need to be certified. Like, I don't know if one's familiar with the red line of America, but once America was redlined, that kind of identified the more impoverished areas. And when you say impoverished areas, that was more of the controlled population of niggas, so to speak. When I say niggas, I'm talking about descendants of American slaves. So when you're talking about descendants of American slaves, you're talking about black people. So when I'm talking about red-lined areas, they've been around. We know many of them. They called hoods. So when I'm talking about a red-lined area being designated as a descendant of American slave district, that right there opens up a pipeline for income to come in through reparations, through systems of America identifying with this, rectifying issues of slavery. So you need to give these people something of a resource in order to be able to thrive off of. Without that, they are pretty much lost out to the wild to try to compete with everybody that has a leg up advantage of a, more integratable type of upbringing or foundation and resources. So our resources are tied into America, to which America has done nothing but like castrate us and hang us from. So within identifying ourselves, that opens up a whole new pipeline that can come into the rail line areas to where vertical integration can actually happen, to where all the businesses that's already doing business in red line areas pay taxes to a system that's built to to help improve the areas that they're in. So we actually regentrify ourselves through just an identity coming to, because I feel like we're in cultural kindergarten calling ourselves everything but the truth. Once we call ourselves descendants of American slaves, that washes off all the monotony and the disillusion and the confusion. It's hard to disagree that you can't trace your bloodline to somebody that was a slave, if not generations of it. So for it to be no pipeline of resources to come from that is a disgrace to our ancestors. I think what we all ask for in reparations is that pipeline. A check to each and every individual nigga ain't going to suffice, because we're going to give that money right back into the banks of the slave owners' descendants. So we need to build a whole system, practices, and institutions where racism lives through practices, systems, and institutions to rectify the issues that's been brought upon us, living in a nation within a nation, to where all the practices, systems, and institutions are there to keep us red line, so to speak. Now, you individually may still
Boom,
be able to cross
boom.
the red line, but are we all welcome to cross the red line? You know what I mean? So until we make that red line black, purple, whatever we want to make it, green, I would say green, but it's up to us to do. Nobody's gonna do that shit for us. So now it's time to play our cards. So that's why I named the book United Nigga Nation in an offensive sense, to be the death of racism, because it's not gonna kill itself. We gotta kill it.
Absolutely. Boom, boom. We got some fire going up. We got the light. We got the lighters lit up. Let me tell you, this redlining topic is something that we all need to become aware of, because this actually legalized. This was practices they were already doing, but it legalized on a government level. The inequality housing practices. So when we talk about how is rent racist, this is how it became legalized for it to be racist.
Yeah,
And we
look
talk
up the
about equal
Homestead Act.
housing.
If we don't have a Homestead Act, the
Absolutely, the
people
Homestead Act and the Equal Housing Act didn't even come into play until almost the 1970s. So when you see where we are right now in 2021, where we are right now, and you say, hey, we actually didn't even get equal housing, and like I said, you can say that something is illegal or something is no longer allowed, but how long does that take for that to actually come into play? And we're talking about 400 years of it, right?
we're
But
talking about more than that. We're talking about a
listen to
whole.
this comment.
Go ahead.
Professor Black Truth said, the tragedy is not that they will hate you because you are black. It's because they will harm you because you are powerless. If that ain't a mic drop quote right there,
Harm you
it
because
is
you are
in
powerless.
order to have control, in order to have control of the most powerful being they already know, but to make us powerless in regards to making us dependent, to making us enslaved again through monetary practices. This is where the real rub is. It's not because, oh, they don't want you to marry their daughters. Who cares? Oh, they fear the black penis. Okay. Okay. No, the power is that guess what? After you finish those Black Lives Matter marches, after you finish protesting, after you even come off of your entrepreneurial job, you still go home to rent. And 70% of the chances are you still renting from your own shelter is still dependent upon a demographic that is not you. So of course you're going to have some disparity when it goes there. That's the real rub.
And
I'm going to
selling,
let you close us out, brother. Go ahead. I'm going to put myself on mute. I'm going to let you close us out.
I appreciate that. And one thing I come to find out is that they only allow rent. They ain't even trying to sell. You come to them with more than even what it's worth, and they ain't gonna sell it. Cause you gotta think of who made Monopoly. That's why I shout out to brothers like Derek Grace and some of the other people who made their own board game to say, you know what I'm saying? Like we can um do, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We just have to control the wheel. And that's what I feel like willpower is. We call it will like WILL, but looking into it more of a modern standpoint, let's look at it as WHEEL. We all know what a will does. You know what I'm saying? So let's consider our mind the same type of power of a wheel. And now we know what lane we can be in. So once you drive in that lane and you control your wheel, you able to go as far as you want to go. As Nipsey Hussle would say, you can make it as big as you want to make it, take it as far as you want to take it. So that's what's up in us controlling our will. So when I grab control of my will and I wanted to see where I wanted to go, I wanted to go to a united nigga nation. And upon getting to that destination, what would that entitle? That would be the end of racism. Because we ain't got to worry or have a concern about any or none of the bullshit or the fuckery because we in complete control. And to identify ourselves of the truth that we ain't nothing but some of the greatest things America ever made because we brought we the between from, as Tupac would say, the cradle to the grave. We are the answer and the question. We the alpha and the omega. It's time to embark on all that. And we can, I think we need to quit thinking of the old world ways of winning with the sword and think of the new world ways of winning with the pen because the pen is stronger than the sword. So I wrote United Nigga Nation to say, hey, we here. Once the majority of the minority starts to feel the same way, that we a nation instead of just a culture, because a culture only comes from a nation. We not identifying the nation. So I identified it myself. It's a United Nigga Nation. And a nigga don't mean nothing but a descendant of American slave. If you black and ain't a descendant of American slave, I ask yourself to listen to Michael Jackson, The Man in the Mirror, and ask yourself, do you want to make a change? Now, I can go on and on and on, like the Erykah Badu song, but I'm gonna end it the way the way I like to end it. What's 1 + 1? Deuces.
All right, all right, all right. You guys heard it fresh. Y'all heard it today from Brother Tommy T. He held no punches, as usually not. He held no punches and pulled them absolutely. Again, if you are in the Atlanta area, Mark Nash, don't know if you're still here, but I know you're in the Atlanta area. Make sure you make plans to be in the building next Saturday. I don't know, you might be a homeowner, but it would be great for you to be in the building with us, in the building with us who are renters, and a big part of our collective population is, and we would definitely, I think, benefit from having live energy from other content creators to be a part of this conversation, to witness this conversation. Because again, I'm not going to be live streaming this day. This is not a conversation. The revolution will not be televised, but that does not mean that it will not be organized. Hello. And if I am nothing but, I am an organizer. I am an organizer. I'm a servant, and I'm a pretty dang good mama too. But please, if you are in the Atlanta area next Saturday, September 25th, be in the building 1 o'clock. We will be not only elevating the conversation in regards to rent, but identifying what shifts we need to be making in this turn of events for that eviction moratorium being lifted. It's beyond time for us to get active. We need to stop being responsive and start being pro-sponsive. Okay, we need to be creating. We need to be proactive instead of responsive. Did I just make up a word? Pro-sponsive. I'm sorry, but that's what we need to do. We need to make sure that we are making these steps before they start literally yanking us out of our homes. Literally, literally. So until yeah, and y'all can miss me. Like I said, I get a lot of people that want to talk online about, oh, y'all should just be paying your rent, and I paid my rent until I became a homeowner. Congratulations to you, sir. But guess what? That's a good 19%. That's a good 19%. And that's why I say a lot of y'all online here lying. A lot of y'all online lying. Okay, because even the trap pastor said he's been paying mortgage for 22 years. He don't own nothing. He don't own it yet. So if you still paying your mortgage, and mortgage, as y'all know, as any good brother a brother of the Moorish faith will tell you, or the Moorish organization will tell you that mortgage means death. Mortgage means death, and it even says in our own scripture that we are not to be indebted to any man. The only debt that we should have to one another is loving them. So I would love a property manager to life, because hello, if you're gonna fix my property when things are falling short and that sort of thing, that's great. But no, honey, I would not love you to no death. I would not create a wealth for you that I can't create for myself, for my children. Absolutely not. I won't do it. I won't do it. I refuse to do it. So we gotta be serious. Like, you gotta want this for your children. You have to want this for your children. Do you want your children just to be you gonna pass on your debt to them? Because I've seen it happen generationally. People go from one generation to another generation, renting, renting, renting. There was this one property owner down in Miami, said that he's had the same family renting for 30 years. I said, you should be in jail. Told him that to his face. And you should be in jail. How many times have they bought that property? 30 years of a renting family. And you know what, the grandson of the family that originally was renting from him said, well, he was a bus driver, and he was saying, well, I just, for many years until I had children, I just was happy that I was only paying $400 of rent, because I realized, this is the only place that I can still do that. So even though, his grandparents and his parents, had passed on, the guy never raised the rent, and he was indebted to him because of that. He was loyal to him because of that, because he realized, hey, this guy could be getting this or this for my property. But again, not realizing, appreciating that his family had long since bought the property. That's why it didn't matter that he was only paying $400 a month, because his grandmother, his grandparents, and his parents had literally bought the property already. So, like I said, at that point, $400 a month, what he was just doing was paying for probably the landlord's prostitution habit. Let's get it. Let's get into it. Let's get into some truth, y'all. Because, like I said, I would not also be up here pretending or ascribing to the whole belief that all of these mid-level property managers, because I don't like calling no landlords, because you ain't no lord in my land, okay? But these property managers, these property owners are just these good abiding people that just want to see nice, good folk pay them their nice, good money so they can have a nice, good place to live. And don't get me wrong, y'all. Your girl Courtney has I don't stay in low tier places because I think that's also the inference that, if that's the case, then, I'm probably, no, wherever I live, I have always held it to a certain standard, a certain expectation, because I've always been told that it's not where you live, it's how you live. So no matter where I've lived, you come into my place, it's smelling like a hotel, honey. I'm talking about like those 4 stars that got the tea, the green tea, and the cucumber misting out. Okay, every home that I have ever had, I have held to the utmost of esteem and have made it an experience when you enter the domain. Okay, and I expect that to happen, and it's not because I'm paying rent; it's because I am living there. I am living there. So how dare these property managers expect for you to be loyal to them because you're paying rent to them? You're not even able to invest in the property of the land of which you're living on. Okay. Um, but I keep my place together because that's the way I like to live. That's the way I love for my children to appreciate, even my cats. I don't want us to be in no situation of chaos. I like smell goods. I like looking good. I like pleasantry. Exactly. Exactly, wisdom. Exactly. So I'm putting this up here, you all. If you can cop a book or make a contribution towards copying a book, I'm sure it'll be much appreciated. And as always, y'all know me. I am always appreciative of any contributions you make to my channel as well, for the upkeep of my life, my livelihood, and the show. Y'all know I do this for real. This is I'm constantly on the brand of, so I'm not doing this so I can go to get an extra handbag or get something. You all, I got gifted some awesome boots the other day, and I am appreciative. I was gonna turn it down because y'all know right now I'm organizing my funds for a big property purchase. So I was just like, I don't want these. I mean, they were nice boots, expensive boots, but I'm like, I don't want these boots. I want some. I need some investors, but they're beautiful. So I kept them. I kept them, and I'll probably be rocking them this weekend. That's why I say y'all gotta let me know what that Florida weather looking like, because I don't want to seem out of place. Because it's definitely turning fall up here very quickly, and it's nothing like the smell of that Georgia rain, y'all. Ooh, y'all do something to my heart. Georgia rain, Florida sun are like, great memories. Georgia weather, Florida sun, and Philly culture. Philly vibe is like life. Life. That's my life. That's my life. But you all, if you would like to, if you can, please contribute through Cash App to, like I said, everything definitely does help. I am a living testimony of that because this is what I do. What I do. This is what I do. So help me do what I ever brought anything of value to your conversation or your just please contribute something. And until next time, y'all know we're gonna keep it cultured. We're gonna keep it we're gonna keep it conscious, and we are absolutely gonna keep it colored. Join us next Thursday for a dynamic colored conversation as well. Until then, y'all know what to do.